In April 1994, when the genocide against the Tutsi began in Rwanda, I was only 11 years old. Until then, life had been peaceful. My parents were both teachers and we lived in CapCut, a well-known Roman Catholic center in southern Rwanda. When violence spread across the country, my family fled to College St. Joseph, the school where my father taught modern languages and geography. Along with more than 50,000 other Tutsi civilians, we believed the church and the nearby cathedral would protect us. Instead, we found ourselves trapped, surrounded by government soldiers and militias, with no way to escape and no certainty that we would survive. At first, the soldiers came only for the men. Day after day, they entered the school, selecting fathers, brothers, and sons, taking them away in trucks. On the morning of April 28th, my father was among those chosen. Before he disappeared, he turned and waved goodbye. That brief moment became my final memory of him. He and nearly all the other men were murdered. Soon the killings expanded to women, young boys, and girls. Many victims were transported to distant places such as Ngororero, where they were brutally killed. The hope we had placed in the church vanished as fear and despair replaced every expectation of safety. Life inside the refugee camp became a daily struggle for survival. Tens of thousands of people were packed into overcrowded buildings with almost no clean water, little food, and very few toilets. Disease spread rapidly, and hunger claimed many lives even before the killers reached them. By early June, most adults had already been murdered, leaving mainly elderly people and young children behind. Although my mother survived the violence itself, she died only a few weeks after we were liberated, weakened by everything she had endured. In a matter of weeks, my siblings and I had lost both of our parents along with many members of our extended family. Growing up after the genocide meant learning how to live in a world that no longer felt familiar. My older brother and sister became our guardians, doing everything they could to raise us despite carrying their own grief. The trauma did not disappear when the violence ended. For years, I found myself believing that one day my parents might return because we had never been able to bury them. Only with time did I slowly accept that they were gone forever. Even today, there remains a quiet fear that the past can never be completely left behind, making every achievement feel precious yet uncertain. Despite those painful memories, Rwanda gradually changed. Peace returned, security improved, and a new government worked to build a society where every citizen could participate in rebuilding the country. 30 years later, life has become possible again. The wounds remain, but hope has grown stronger. I have come to believe that remembering the past is not about remaining trapped in it, but about ensuring such hatred never happens again. This conviction inspired me to become a memory worker and an author. I realized that very few books explain the genocide in ways children could understand. Young people need to learn this history early so they can recognize the dangers of hatred and division before they become adults. I also wrote for parents, many of whom struggle to explain the past to their children while carrying painful memories of their own. In post-genocide Rwanda, many families are raising children without the guidance of parents who were taken from them, while others live with the burden of remembering loved ones who became perpetrators. Today, being a father gives my life a new purpose. My children represent hope, continuity, and the future my parents never had the chance to see. I dream of watching them grow up, have families of their own, and one day making me a grandfather. To me, that is the greatest victory over the darkness of my past. It is proof that violence did not destroy our future, and that love can outlive hatred. I was once a frightened child who lost everything, yet I continued my education, played volleyball, graduated from university, and built a meaningful life. I often imagine that wherever my parents are, they are proud of the person I have become. My story is not only about unimaginable loss, but also about resilience, remembrance, and hope. It is the story of a child who survived one of history's darkest tragedies and grew up determined to build a future filled with peace, family, and the promise that the next generation will never have to experience the same horror.